guys, I'm Brianna, welcome back to my channel, and I'm here with yet another book haul. I got my Starbucks iced tea, and I have a big stack of books right here, ready for you guys, ready to show you. So most of these books are from Amazon. I had a $100 gift card, so I used it. And then the rest are from Barnes & Noble or my library, so thought I would share with you guys the books that I got. So the first book I got, these are 3 mass market paperbacks. The first one is A New Leash on Love by Debbie Burns. This is a rescue novel. This one's book 1. I actually had book 2 and I already read it, and I couldn't find book 1 in the bookstore, but I got it. So I was like, okay, I'll just read it, whatever. And then I found this at the library. They were just giving away some older books that they had, so I was like, it's a puppy romance. So I got this. I'm definitely going to read it soon just because I love dogs, so I want to read it. Plus, it seems like a summary type book, even though the cover looks fall, but it's fine. It's not a big deal. But all I know is she either works at a no-kill shelter or owns a no-kill shelter, and then obviously a guy comes in to adopt a animal, so that's how their love story starts. Then we have Puppy Love by Lucy Gilmore. I don't know if I showed this in my last one, but I'm gonna show it now. I do have like a couple books here that I literally don't know if I showed you guys or not, but it's fine. So this one is about a service dog who is actually for diabetes, and they train service dogs for specific services. So he is a firefighter, which I think that was really cool, and he has diabetes, so he needs a service dog because he is a wild firefighter. Like, he fights wildfires, if that makes sense. Most of them are on the West Coast, but so it's all about their romance because she assigns the dog to him, and I think this is one of the cutest romances I've read so far this summer. And of course there's a dog involved. It's a Pomeranian too, like such a fluff ball. I loved this book a lot. And then we have The Protector by Donna Grant. I think this is like number 2 in the series. But honestly, I'm on a Donna Grant kick. I just started her Dark King series, so there's 2 series before that, which I've talked about in my wrap-ups the last 2 months, so watch it if you guys are interested. But Donna Grant is actually like such a really good romance fantasy author, and I've been like on a kick just because I've wanted to see some of that. But this is a military romance, I think, but this one's book 2, so I kind of gotta get the other ones, but I'm excited to get into it. So these are the 2 books I got from Barnes & Noble. So the first one we have Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson. I've been dying to pick this up. I honestly didn't know about this book until a month ago, 2 months ago. A lot of my favorite YouTubers just started bringing this book on their channel, and I was like, that looks like a really good book, and it's Margaret Rogerson. I know I'm one of the only ones, but I loved her first book, An Enchantment of Ravens. I did have an issue just because it was on the shorter side, but this book is not on the shorter side, so I'm very excited. But this one is a YA fantasy, and it's about this girl who lives in a library, and apparently she's like the guardian of the books or something like that, and one of the books gets open and she has to stop the book from taking over the world, something like that. But honestly, it just spoke to me because, one, it's about books. Like, who doesn't like reading a book about books? Like, but it's also a Margaret Rogerson book, and I loved her first debut novel, so I'm very excited to get into this one. I may bring it with me on vacation, so I'm probably not going to read this one quite yet, but definitely later in this month. So this is the last book I got. So, funny story, I literally went to Barnes & Noble the day this book released because I've been dying for this book. I love this author so much. And it wasn't on shelves. That's my issue with my Barnes & Noble, is the day it's released, they don't put the books out. Like, you have to ask them for it. So I literally went up to the guy and I was like, hey, so there's this book, but like I don't see it on shelves, whatever. So then he was like, oh, it's probably downstairs, I'll go get it. He literally brings up this humongous stack and he goes, here, you have the first pick. And I was like, oh Lord. But this is the first book of her new spin-off series. I forgot what she's calling the spin-off series, but this is Storm and Fury by Jennifer L. Armentrout. A lot bigger than I expected. I do like the covers. I still like the old covers better, but it's fine. But I'm very excited to get into this and jump into this. Again, I think primarily in the beginning of July, I'm going to focus more on reading this series. It's a trilogy, so I want to read it all so then I can read this book, the spin-off series, and then I'll probably end up bringing this one on vacation with me as well. So check out my vacation TBR coming soon. But yeah, I'm very excited. If you don't know, this one follows Zane. Zane is one of the characters in the first book, or the first series. You don't have to read the first series to read this one, but that one gives a lot more background and information to what this is about. So there's angels in here, there's demons, there's gargoyles, which are kind of like the keepers of the demons, if that makes sense. But I absolutely love the series. This is a YA fantasy, but in my opinion, her romances are always more new adult romances, so be prepared. So this is my stack of 8 books I got from Amazon. Some of them, like, I knew I was going to get, and then some of them I was like, that looks interesting, I'm going to pick that up. So the first book we have here, I was just browsing and I found this, and this is The Last First Game by Gina Azzi, and it's the College Pack series. I believe this one, like, this series is rewritten. It was originally first published under a different title. But honestly, the only reason I got this book was because it's a college book. It's a lot shorter than I expected. It's probably about 200 to 300 pages. Yeah, like 250 pages. But I'm very excited about this because this is it seems like it's a college football romance, so I'm excited to jump right into it. College football romances are like my guilty pleasure. So I definitely think when I go to the beach in the next couple of days, I'm going to start bringing these books with me because, you know, they're beach reads. So I'm excited to jump into this. I've literally never heard anything about this. Like, nothing. Never heard the author's name before. Never heard this book title before. Literally nothing. Like, I just searched up college romances in Kindle, and then this one came up. So I was like, okay, might as well get a copy. And I always tend to love these, so I got myself a physical copy. Then I have The Fallen Genesis, A Deadly Virtues prequel by Tillie Cole. So this is her new series that she started, and I love Tillie Cole. If you're a new subscriber, I'm obsessed with this lady. Like, she is literally my favorite author next to Jennifer Armentrout. So if you guys like any type of romance genre, she's pretty much written everything, I think. But this is dark romance, but she just started this, and this is apparently darker than the Hades Hangman series. And if you read the Hades Hangman series, there's not much darker than you could get, so I don't know. But this is a prequel, and apparently you have to read this one before the first book. And I waited to get the prequel because I wanted to wait until the first book was out so I could just order them in the same order. So I did that. But I literally have no clue what this series is about. I've tried to stay far away from spoilers because I know a lot of her fans tend to spoil or write like their favorite characters and stuff, and I wanted to have my own opinion of the series. I do think, depending on how dark these books are, I'm gonna have a book review up just because I love her books. But if it's super dark, I don't know if I should do a book review, but I'll figure it out. Let me know down below if you want one. But I'm very excited. Super, super tiny. Literally 130 pages. And I got my mom into Tillie Cole, so my mom's going to be reading them too. So I'll figure out when I'm going to read these, but I'm very excited to jump into that. So this is the prequel, and remember, you have to read this before reading the first book. And it's only 99 cents on Kindle. I just like having a physical copy of Tillie's books, so that's why I got it. So the first book is Raphael. This is book number 1. I literally have no clue how long this series is. But from the gist of it, it seems like they're a group of murderers, but they use a sin to help them murder, and that's how they murder, if that makes sense. So it seems like she's kind of doing something similar to the 7 Deadly Sins, but, like, not just those sins, more sins. I don't know if I'm confusing myself or if I'm confusing you guys, but okay, so basically they're murderers, so I'm assuming it's going to be all about killing people. But for this one, he is a lust killer, so obviously people can assume what that means. But I'm interested to see how I like this because this concept is just kind of weird, but all her books are kind of weird. But I'm just excited to get into this. This cover's actually really pretty. It kind of leaves like a lot to the imagination because you kind of don't know what's happening. So I am excited to get into this. I'm definitely going to be in a book hangover after these, wanting the next one. So it takes me a little bit to read Tilly's books, but I'm excited. Okay, so the next two books are from one of my new favorite authors. I'm literally obsessed with this author now. She writes, honestly, probably the best contemporary romances I've ever read so far to this date. They're just rom-coms. They're so freaking funny, and I love them all. Like, I definitely think I'm going to start either collecting her books or just reading them. There's some that don't really interest me, but I'm primarily getting the ones that interest me. So the first book, it's brand new. It came out last month, I think. No, a couple days ago? It came out sometime in June. But it's called A Place in the Sun by R.S. Gray. I'm very excited for this one. It's about a girl who ends up going on vacation. She kind of runs away from her parents because her parents are trying to matchmake her with a whole bunch of people. She goes to Italy for the summer, and she obviously meets an Italian boy, but they're rom-coms, so obviously some funny stuff is gonna happen. But I'm just really, really excited. This cover looks great. R.S. Gray, like, has not disappointed me yet so far. So I'm just really excited. And again, I'm gonna wait to read this book until I'm on vacation. Her books are definitely flyby books for me. So if you want something kind of lighthearted or just funny and there's a romance in it, you'll definitely want to pick up these books. I love them so much. Oh, also, if you guys were wondering, this is a passion tea lemonade. This is what I always get at Starbucks. Okay, so the next R.S. Gray book that I have, I've been, like, looking at it for a while, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna buy it now. And that's Make Me Bad. This one is about a librarian, and I think she has a, like, she came from a very kind of strict family. I believe her dad was a cop. I literally have no idea who he is or what he is about, but honestly, I just thought it was adorable that she was a librarian, so that's why I picked it up. Again, this is a one on the shorter side, but I'm very excited to pick it up and start reading this one. Again, R.S. Gray. I love her books. So the next book, oh my god, the pile's almost done. Okay, the next book came damaged, but I'm kind of just, like, not in the mood to return it and get a new one. I'm just gonna deal with it. It's not the end of the world, it's the back cover, whatever. So this is the third book in a series, and I think she's ending this series and writing either she's stopping the series and writing a spin-off. I don't really know what she's doing, but this is one of my new favorite authors as well. Her name's Carla Sorensen. This book is called The Marriage Effect. If you don't know, these are kind of, I guess, rom-coms a little bit, but these are football romances, but they are already in the NFL, which I think is really, really cool. I loved the first two books. Like, if you love football in general or just any football romances, you will love these books. Candy Steiner actually got me into this. She kept putting it up on her Instagram, and I was like, cover looks good, it looks good. So I'm just like, I love this book. I literally did not know this one was coming out, but this just seems like such a fun read, and I plan to reread the first two books just because I want to. It's summer, so I'm just excited to get into this book soon. So the next book, I've been struggling to find all over the place, and then I was just like, I'm just gonna get it on Amazon, so I did. And that is The Bride Test by Helen Hoang. This is the sequel to her other book. I forgot what it's called, The Kiss Quotient. I absolutely love The Kiss Quotient. It was so good, just so cute, and it was just, I'm trying to think, it was kind of a diverse read. It was kind of a mind-opening read, that's what I would say. And it was just so cute. I did read it at the beach, but it was such a great story, and I loved it. So I'm very, very excited for this one. And I do think I'm going to reread The Kiss Quotient before I get into this one. There's a lot of rereading this summer, but I'm so excited. I've heard nothing but good things so far about The Bride Test, and you don't necessarily have to read The Kiss Quotient to read this one. This one has different characters in it, but I'm just so excited. It's going to be so good. Oh, this summer has some great reads. And the last book I got literally also just came out a week ago. last Tuesday. Yeah, it came out really quickly. But I got this because it's a hockey romance, and I need more hockey romances in my life. And this is called Parental Guidance by Avery Flynn. I've never heard anything about this author, but this book seemed really, really good. It's about this guy who basically gets in trouble. There's like a viral video that releases about him, so obviously PR is mad at him. So his mom takes over his dating apps, which I think was so funny. And then this girl ends up, I think, going out with him, something like that. But I'm just so excited. I haven't really heard too much about this, and it's a weird size. It's kind of on the shorter side. But again, I'm super excited to get into this. I love hockey romances as well as football ones, so I think this is going to be a great book. So that's my smaller book haul for you guys. Wow, I'm a mess, but it's fine. I'm so excited to get into all of these books. If you guys need any recommendations for summer reading, let me know down below, and I'll be sure to give it to you. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!